Hi guys, welcome back for another video. I'm Jess and I'm one of the creative designers here at Sizzix. Today I'm going to be using something super fun. We've got a couple of brand new Stamp and Spin stamp sets, coming out, and I wanted to show you guys some fun makes surrounding Galentines or Valentines. I'm doing more girly Valentines, but you could totally customize these for Valentines. You could customize these for honestly almost any kind of occasion. So yeah, there's loads of fun things that we're gonna make. We're gonna make a card, we're gonna make a gorgeous table name kind of setting, and then we're also gonna make a makeup bag as well, and we're gonna stamp onto that. So loads of fun things, so let's jump in. Okay, so I'm obviously going to be using our Stamp and Spin tool today. I'm going to take my white cardstock and I'm going to place that onto my sticky grid sheet. And I'm going to be utilising the two new dies. So I'm not going to hold them up because I've got all my dies in, my stamps, in a pile, but there's two amazing new stamp sets. So we've got a sentiment stamp set and a gorgeous floral stamp set, and they are designed specifically to work with our Stamp and Spin tool. So I'm going to start with my card. So I'm going to take one of the larger florals. I'm going to place that kind of towards the outside. It's going to be quite a large card, and you can kind of use the grid to decipher where to place your stamp, how close you want it, how far out you want it. And I'm just going to do this with black ink, and I'm literally going to ink it up and stamp it. So we've got our first stamp, and the great thing about using a registration press is if you need to add a little bit more ink, you can totally do that. So we're just going to add a little bit more ink, go again, and then you've got your flower. Now, if you're new to the Stamp and Spin, the whole process is you just hold on to it, give it a twist at the bottom, and then we can stamp it again, and you can see the process that we're going to be working with. So again, we're going to ink up, then we're going to stamp. And again, if you need to stamp it a couple of times, make sure it's firmly stamped, and then go again, and we're going to twist it and stamp, and I'm going to carry on that whole process until we meet back at the beginning. And then once you've come back all the way to the beginning, you will have your full circle. So we've got a full circle of stamps, and because a lot of them are slightly curved, it works fantastically with that Stamp and Spin element. Now, it looks a bit boring right now. What we're going to do is we're going to add some colour. So I'm going to take some watercolours. These are just some basic watercolours. You don't need anything fancy. And I'm going to add some colour. You can literally leave it on your sticky grid sheet base if you want to, and you can use your palette. You can mix new colours if you want to, and we're going to use this kind of like a drawing palette, and we're going to add our colour inside those black lines. So it is literally like a colouring book almost. And I'm going to stick to kind of pinks and reds for my Galentine's theme, but you can add whatever you kind of want to. So I'm just going to do a red one next to it to just show you guys. It's so simple. If you're not a painter or a watercolour, don't worry. I'm not either. You do not need to be anything special to make this work. I promise anybody can do this. And if you go slightly outside the lines like I've just done there, don't worry about it. Like, I think it adds to the watercolour effect, to be honest. So don't worry. And you can go back in, so we can go back in with, say, our pink and add some deeper tones to the centres. and things like that. So we're going to carry on the whole way around until it's all finished, and then I'll show you what the finished thing looks like. So once you've gone all the way around and you've filled all of the space in with your watercolors, you'll have something that looks like that. So obviously you can see it's all filled in with those pinks and reds. I've got a little bit of green in there and it looks fantastic. And like I said, I am not a watercolor artist and anybody can achieve this. So now we can start to think about piecing our card together. So I've got my base here that I've already started to work on. So I've got my red cardstock with some pink glitter opulent. And then I'm going to place this in the center. Okay. And then I'm thinking I'm going to have some fun in the center of my card, in the center of that wreath that we've created. I'm going to use some of the circle shaker panes, and I'm going to use the largest one, and I've actually pre-filled this one. So they come with the front and then a separate backing that you can attach. So I filled mine with a load of pink sequins, and then I placed the back on as well. So you have this effect. So I'm literally going to take a little bit of tape around the edge. Don't want much of this. And then I'm going to place that in the center. Central as you can kind of get it. And that's going to go there. And then I'm going to cover up this little section here. So you literally just peel off this red kind of tape and then it's sticky underneath. And then we have this section. So this is from the circular framelit set that actually works alongside the shaker panes and it cuts to the perfect size, which is fantastic. So we have that there. Now I feel like we need a sentiment. So I've taken one of the scalloped, I'll just grab it there, one of the scallop framelits, and I've pre-cut a piece of cardstock from some light pink. And then I'm gonna bring in one of those sentiment die sets that are new. And I'm gonna stamp that. So sending a little love your way, I think. That seems like something you would love to send to a best friend on Valentine's to perk up their day. And you can use the Stamp and Spin just like a stamping platform. So you can literally pick it up and then stamp it, ink it, sorry. So I'm going to take some red ink, ink that up, and place that on there. And there we go. And then we can literally take that on there. I'm going to take a little bit of foam tape and just attach that to the back. You do not need much. And place that in the center. And there we have our perfect Galentine's Valentine's card ready for any kind of other occasion if you want it to be. But how fun is that with the shaker pane center and then the ring of flowers around the outside? So that is our card. I'm going to place that off to one side and then we're going to move on to our table name settings. Okay, so for our table name settings, so I'm thinking you're going to have some friends around, you're going to have a girly Galentine's, and you want some cute place names for everybody to sit at. So we're going to take, again, just some plain white cardstock. I tend to use plain white cardstock a lot with these kind of stamps, just because particularly if you're going to colour them in, you want just a plain background, and I think they stand out the nicest just on a plain white, but you can experiment with colour if you want. And then I'm going to use, obviously, those two stamp sets. Now I'm going to use the curved sentiment stamps that come in that set to begin with. And what you want to do, there's different ones, there's smaller ones, there's larger ones, and they are curved, so they work fantastically with this tool. So we're going to take them roughly, I want to do it in every kind of other increment, so I want them pretty close. because you don't want massive table name settings either. And I'm going to make sure it kind of curves with the circle of the Stamp and Spin. So again, I'm going to take I'm just going to use black ink as we did with the card. I'm going to ink that up, place that down, and then I'm going to spin it, but I'm going to spin it twice, okay? And you can see how it's coming together in a circle. I could probably have left a little bit more of a gap, but you can see the idea. So there you go. Let's just ink that up again. I'm trying to not get in the way. And again, you can use the registration press system and add more ink. And then we're going to turn it again. And place our ink down. And you have a gorgeous circle with those kind of curved sentiments, which is fantastic. Obviously, you can do yours really far out if you want to, or you can do them really close like I've done, so they're practically touching. Then I'm just going to take some more of the flower sets. So I'm thinking I'm going to take something like that one. And I'm going to, again, ink it up and twist or spin the tool. So this one I think I'm going to do in every click. And once you've done a couple, we can then think about filling in that gap. So I'm thinking I'm going to take a little flower and kind of fill in that gap. Let that attach. And then continue on. So we've got 2 stamps going at the same time. That stamp's probably a little dirty, so it's not sticking as well, but ooh, tell you what, I'll just give that a clean. Okay, and then we can move on. So now that's clean, that's stuck. So you'll find that if they're really used and really kind of dirty, which I've been practicing with these stamps kind of all week, so they don't stick as well. So just give them a wipe with a bacteria wipe, or just some soap and water normally does it, and you should be fine. And then they'll stick to the surface again perfectly. And then we've come full circle with that one, so we're going to take that off, and then we're going to continue on with this one for 2 more spins until we're back at the beginning. So as you can see, we again have a full wreath, and we've also got those curved sentiments in there as well. I'm going to colour this in exactly the same way that I did with the other one, with those watercolours, and just taking your time and filling in the little gaps. You might need a slightly smaller paintbrush. And then all I did was take that scallop die again that we used previously, and I cut around the whole shape. So we ended up with something that looks like those. So if I move this to one side so you can see it. Just like these. So we've got our sentiment stamps and then our flowers all coloured in. Now obviously I've left a bit of a gap in the centre. The only thing that I want to add is my name. So I've printed these off, and then I've just die cut them with a little circle. Then I'm going to take a little bit of foam tape. I'm going to place these in the centre. And then you have your name settings, which could go literally just on the table as they are. They could sit on the plate and look super, super cute, but I'm gonna add them to a napkin ring. Now what I've actually done here is I've made a napkin ring using just some plain cardstock. So I've taken a strip of cardstock and I've curved it round, and then I've just placed a little bit of double-sided tape. So I'll just take a couple of pieces. And I'll just place these here and just attach this so it's nice and secure in a kind of paper circle, like so. And then I've taken the napkins that I'm going to use for my Galentine's party or gathering, and I've got these gorgeous little pinky peachy napkins, and I'll just quickly show you how I made it into kind of a bow. So you want to take your napkin. I'll just move some of my other bits out of the way. You want to take your napkin, your square napkin, and fold it in half. And then I tend to fold it about 3 times upwards, so I've got a strip, okay? Then you just fold it across so it's kind of crossed there, and then we can thread it through our little paper ring that we made. And then it just needs a little bit of adjusting until you have your bow. Mine's probably a little big on one side actually here. It takes a little bit of practice, but and a little bit of fiddling. It is a super cute way to have your napkins and your table names, which I'm going to add, displayed. So we've got our little bow. I've got one here as well. And then all I want to do is to add our place names to the center. So again, I'm just going to take a little bit of tape, place that on like that. You could use hot glue or something like that if you want them nice and secure. And then we have our table names. Oh, there we go. Our table names with our cute little napkin bows. How sweet are those? Like, absolutely adorable. And now we've got our table names and our card ready to go. I'm just gonna make one more thing, which is a cute makeup bag, and that could be like a little favour for your little Galentine's gathering, or just as a gift or anything like that to give, just because. So let's bring back our Stamp and Spin, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so the last one, like I said, is going to be stamping onto a fabric makeup bag. So I've just got a really simple makeup bag. It could be a pencil case or anything like that as well, but you don't want it too thick because we actually are going to stamp onto this, and sometimes the zip makes it a little tricky. So the kind of more flat it is, the better. Okay, so we're going to place that underneath our Stamp and Spin tool, and you want the center of the tool to be as central as we can kind of get it on our bag. Ooh. So just take a little bit of fiddling. I think that looks about good. Yeah, okay. So once you're happy with that, we can then take our stamp. I didn't realise my stamp had attached to me. Oh, that's funny. So I'm going to make sure my stamp is nice and clean so it sticks, and then I'm going to place this down kind of here. I'm going to use again the circles on the Stamp and Spin to guide me a little bit, but this one's just going to go in the corner, and then I'm going to do something else all the way around. So I'm going to let that one pick up. Then I'm going to use some coloured inks this time. So instead of black, I'm going to use red, pink and green, but I'm using the same kind of ink. So I'm still using the Ranger Archival inks because these are waterproof. You could also use fabric inks if you want to. I just find these work really, really well and come out nice and clean. And obviously with being waterproof, they work great on the fabric. So we're going to ink that up and then I'm going to place that down. Now you want to be careful about getting any ink on the rest of the tool because the fabric is slightly more raised than our paper. So anything that's not where it should be, just make sure it's clear. And we want to probably go in a good couple of times and you want to really press it, okay? So get your weight behind it because we've got that zip to contend with at the top. It's making things a little bit more difficult, but I promise you it does work. Just with a little bit of pressing, you get that effect. And how amazing does that look? So we're then going to continue on with our kind of wreath pattern that we've been working on every other project. So we're going to take our little leaf and we're going to use that and we're going to go around in a circle. So I'm going to use my green. Ooh. Again, that might need a little bit of a clean. Because I have already tested all of these first and had to play around, so they are used. So I've got that there, and then I'm going to spin, I'm going to ink, and then I'm going to press again, pressing quite firmly. And then I'm going to fill the gap like we did with the name cards. And then I'm going to ink those up, but just with another colour. Okay, and then we can just literally keep going. So we can ink and stamp, ink and stamp, and just making sure as the closer you get to the zip at the top, again, you're pressing nice and firm and you're adding, reapplying ink because you probably need to press it down a good 2 or 3 times to get the impression correct. So I'm going to go round in a big circle until we get back to that big flower. Once you come back to the beginning, obviously we have our full wreath. Now, last but not least, I think I'm just going to use one of those sentiment stamps again. What should we use? Hello Sunshine. I think that's kind of cute. Let's place that in the centre. And we're just going to ink that up again and just use the Stamp and Spin as our stamping platform. Like so. You can add a little bit more ink if you want to. Just make sure you've got any excess off. And then just stamp that. And then you have your finished makeup bag. So if I just move these to one side and peel it off, you can see the finished thing. I've also got one over here that I've used a slightly different sentiment on, but you can see the effect and how quickly it kind of comes together just with that one pass through the kind of circle of the wreath, and you have these gorgeous makeup bags. So we have our makeup bag now. We have our card. Let me place that there. And then we have our table name settings, perfect for our little Galentine's event. So you can give them a card, you can decorate their nameplate, and then you could even give them a little makeup bag as a little keepsake as well. So some really fun projects, all using the Stamp and Spin, all using those 2 brand new stamp sets. So they are available over on the Sizzix website, so go ahead and take a look, grab them, and get making for Valentine's, Galentine's, or any other occasion, because these would work for so many different things, and you can do so many different things with just those 2 sets because they are absolutely stunning. If you do recreate anything that I made today, please share some videos, videos or photos across any of our socials. We love to see them, and I'd love to know what you guys are getting up to this Valentine's, whether you're with your loved ones or with some of your besties having a gorgeous little party. You could even have a crafting party. I think that'd be really cute for Galentine's. But that is all from me today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, stay safe and keep crafting. Thanks. Bye.